to bring on my new favorite person, Shachar Scott, who I'll let everybody know this from the jump. She is the first person that I've ever interviewed who was like, hey, let's get together, let's have some drinks or whatever. So we set up a dinner last week and we went to this place. Anybody in LA, we're recommending this highly. Mio Babo is the name of it. And they have the most amazing truffle menu. And we went truffle crazy and had some great wine. And now I have a fantastic new friend. It is so great to see you, Shachar. Hi.
Hi, it's so good to see you. And I'm still full from that dinner. It was outrageous. It was outrageous.
Permanently full, that's fair.
Permanently full, yeah. Thank you so much
Celebrate
for having
divine
me.
feminine energy. I like the background.
You
Super,
know,
super cool.
always
Gotta
on
represent,
brand.
right?
Yeah.
Indeed. All right, well, let's jump into some fun questions here. So Bumble has a powerful mission of empowering women. Can you tell us a little bit about how you champion that mission with your internal team to empower your colleagues?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Our mission at Bumble is really to create a world where all relationships are healthy and equitable, and that people are able to connect safely in an online environment where women make the first move. And we believe that by empowering women to have the opportunity to make the first move, they set the tone from the very beginning. So that's, it's a core value of ours, not only internally and how we create a culture for people to participate in meetings and in decisions, but also in how we want our community to really thrive. So we really believe in that movement, giving women a chance to really set the tone, and it leads to a more empowered relationship. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, no, I think it was like the best innovation of the entire dating app world was that you guys swung it that way. And really, I think that it has to start that way. If guys are just bulldogging around chasing girls, I think it makes for some less than desirable scenarios, I believe.
Yeah, agreed.
So I have to ask you this because this is obviously huge news. The Bumble IPO was obviously some huge recent news. What's it like to work at a company that's just gone IPO, and are there big changes as a result?
Yeah, it's such a great question, and it definitely is an exciting time for Bumble. It was an honor to be here when that happened, and I would say that I wouldn't say that there has like been big changes. We're still fully committed to our mission and the values, and there's a lot more work to do. And super proud to be at this company right now and to continue doing the work that they've started back in 2014, long before I started. So I wouldn't say that there's been massive changes. It's obviously an exciting time, and we'll remain focused. Lots to do.
Yeah, I can only imagine, especially because you're pretty much brand new to this, so this is quite an adjustment for you, correct?
Yeah. I've been at Bumble for 6 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. And so you've yet to like really have like those in-person meetings and stuff, or are you looking forward
Yeah.
to that sort of
I
stuff?
mean, I can't wait. I was just hearing Julie talk, and I agree. That's been the hardest part, right, of this year is for everyone, is just being physically distant, and certainly onboarding at a new company and not having met really anyone. I can't wait to be able to go to visit the team in Austin and London, and really just get the opportunity to connect with people in person.
And is your LA office going to be opening anytime soon?
We don't have, we used to have a hive in LA. We've never had an actual office here yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, hopefully
Wait, break down
down
what
the
a
road.
hive is.
That's right. Oh, well, so the hive is a community space and an opportunity for people to get together. And we've had events in them, and they're just a spectacular experience if you've ever had the chance to be in one. And so hopefully we'll be able to do more of those when we're all fully vaccinated and able to get back together. But I think the as you were saying, the silver lining of Zoom, right, is that we've been able to connect in this way and prove that we can all be very productive from home. So but yes, I can't wait to get in person to meet my team.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I can attest to anybody. You are way, way fun in person. So need to have that happen quickly.
Thank you. Especially when
Absolutely.
there's truffles involved.
Yes, truffles and wine, no matter what.
Truffles and wine.
We're gonna have a hard time topping that one. That's for
I
sure.
know, I know. We set the bar really high from the
We
get-go.
really did. So another huge thing that I couldn't skip. Your CEO, Whitney Wolff, is the youngest woman to ever take a company public at age 31. Tell me about what it's like to work with such an inspiring person and what you've learned in the process.
Yeah, I mean, Whitney is amazing, and I like genuinely feel inspired every single day, and also
Mhm,
just humbled to be at Bumble right now, to be part of this journey and
mhm,
where the team is. One of my favorite things about Bumble, this is a key mantra of ours
mhm,
internally, is that actually I think really speaks to the culture at Bumble
mhm,
is instead of fighting for a seat at the table, let's just build
mhm.
a bigger table.
Oh, I
And,
like that.
we, in the same way that we want our community to feel empowered, we want to lift and
Mhm.
support our team, right? And to
Yeah.
really make people feel included. And so there's no table that is not big enough to be part of it. And I think that speaks to Whitney's leadership and
Mhm.
the kind of people that she is looking for to bring on to the team.
Oh, that's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the different ways that people use Bumble as to further both their personal and their professional goals, and how the app is structured to promote female empowerment within those features?
Yeah. So Bumble, as most people probably know it, is an online dating app, right? And the vision
Mhm,
was always to really allow people to build healthy and equitable relationships in all facets of their life. So not just
mhm,
romantic ones. And what the team saw kind of early on as they saw how people were using the app, there were people
mhm,
that were actually like hacking their profile
mhm,
and using it to say, Shachar, I'm not here for love, but I'm actually here to make new friends.
mhm,
And that kernel of insight and how people were organically using the platform is what led to the team really having the confidence to launch Bumble BFF, which
mhm,
allows a friendship finder and an opportunity to connect with people in a platonic way, and then later Biz and allow people to connect professionally. So the
mhm,
same philosophy that exists for people who are looking for a romantic relationship does span
mhm,
into other facets of their life and other relationship types. So the woman first
mhm,
approach is really what we're looking to bring to the forefront of human connection.
mhm. And when it comes to those other offshoots, are men allowed in that action at all, or is this all for women?
No, of course we are inclusive and we're working. We actually have a team that is dedicated on thinking about underrepresented groups and how we can make people all people feel included, and also that Bumble is an app for them. But we definitely have men on the platform,
Mhm,
lots of men on the platform as well, and we've seen that the benefits of the connections that are made on the platform really benefit all genders.
mhm. And are BFFs and Biz separate apps, or did they all live in the same app?
So they're different modalities, but in the same Bumble app.
Okay, so
Yeah,
one
so you
stop
can kind
shop.
of toggle back and forth and be like, today I
Okay.
want to go on a date. Tomorrow I want to meet someone new. That
Mhm,
if I move to a new city or
mhm,
professionally, if you're changing industries and looking to connect with other people. So
mhm.
we do see a lot of actual crossover, which is
Uh-huh.
interesting. But obviously, I think intent and why you would want to use certain features depends on your life stage and where you are.
And when did each of those sides of the business launch?
So Bumble BFF launched in 2016 and Bumble
Okay.
Biz in 2017.
Okay.
And then Date launched back in 2014. So
Mhm.
lots of innovation, which is awesome.
Nice. And I think it is smart to keep it all in the same app, because then it's all just part of one family, and you have the same user base, and you can just kind of, go in the lane that you feel like that day.
Exactly. Exactly.
Very, very cool. I love it. What did you see over the last year from Bumble users, new and existing, and how the pandemic affected the ways that they use the service?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of your guests have been saying the same thing, but I think, this year in particular, and how we've all been physically distant due to the lockdown has changed fundamentally the way that people communicate, and especially how they date, right? And find love or build relationships, especially in moments of feeling isolated. And while online dating, I think a long time ago was taboo, now it's totally normalized, and it is largely how people meet each other. I mean, if you think about a lot of the relationships that you've probably maintained this year have either been on your computer or on your phone, right? Because
Yeah,
we couldn't see each
absolutely.
other. So, I think what we saw over the last year is that a lot of shifts on our platform, and we were really quick to adapt to them. So we created a COVID resource center and added COVID preferences. So you could be really upfront about your comfort level, either seeing people in person or wanting to date virtually, and find other people that felt the same way, so that you weren't ready to go out when somebody else was not. So that allowed for people to maintain the level of connection that they felt comfortable with. And then we also saw just a huge uptick in video calls, as you would imagine, and just video chats in general, and call times going up, because people just do feel more comfortable first, meeting online than they do, and then choosing, do they want to actually meet in real life. And I don't think that the slow dating movement that we saw over the last year will go away just because people have been vaccinated. I think that people have actually found, as you said, a lot of productivity and efficiency and comfort in connecting with people in this way. Although obviously meeting in person to have truffles and wine is
the best.
Can't compare. But no, I mean, I do think that people feel more comfortable exchanging these kinds of messages online first in a virtual setting, and then deciding, is this someone that I want to meet in person? And so that, I think, will be a core part of our app. And so I think what we've learned this year and how we've seen our community engage with the app, I think will actually remain. And what we're doing is really looking at better ways that we can support people finding people and connecting virtually, and as well as like on that journey to IRL.
Gotcha. And pardon my naivete. I was with my wife previous to Bumble's existence, but is there an in-app video chat feature?
There is, yeah, there is.
Wow.
We've got video chats and video calls within, and you can send gifts to each other and emojis. So yeah, we do have that feature, and we've just seen time spent within that feature pre-pandemic versus during pandemic just like skyrocket. So
Skyrocket, I'm sure. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Huh.
All
And
the Zooms.
it must absolutely kill catfishers that you have that feature, because it's like the instant validation kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, we ban that on our platform anyways. But yeah, I mean, I think there, again, there's just like a comfort level in doing this first before you decide to go out, and I think that I don't think that will change. I think people have gotten really comfortable with that. And so we're going to keep innovating and thinking about, new ways to help people really, safely connect before they decide to meet in person.
Yeah. And I just have to make a simple observation. It's funny how the world has shifted in a way as such now that if you cold approach somebody at a bar, you just seem like a creep.
It will take some adjustment. I think everyone's saying like, I can't wait to go do all these things. But then when push comes to shove and you're actually there and people take off their masks, and all of a sudden you feel like, am I supposed to do this? Is this okay? So yeah, I think we'll continue to really help guide our community and like ways to do that safely and comfortably. And I think that you've got people at all sides of the spectrum, people that are ready to go out and people that are like, I actually like this whole shelter in place
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I was just thinking about actually a first handshake might actually outdo the fear of a first kiss now.
totally. I mean, the rules of intimacy have been the role of it too has been redefined
Hmm.
for sure.
And I think we talked about this a little bit the other night, but obviously you probably have a lot of young singles that work in your company. Do you hear a lot of the stories? Are they sort of like living through the platform for you guys?
Yeah, we do get a lot of internal success stories, and we also hear from our community all the time. They're
Hmm.
constantly sharing their stories with us on social channels, and
Hmm.
we even have a blog where we then share some of those back. And yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, we do hear a lot of stories of
Hmm.
how people are connecting, and
Hmm.
success doesn't like mean that they have gotten married and had a baby. Like, I think
Yeah.
just finding someone that you want to spend time with and date is
Hmm.
success. And we do hear a lot from not only our team members but our community.
Hmm.
They're very very vocal and they're happy to share, which is awesome.
Hmm. And is there like a toggle on the platform that says like what you're looking for, like the level of interest of where you're willing to go or what you're willing to do? Yeah.
Yeah, from a COVID perspective, yes.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So like I'm only open to online dating right now, or I'm flexible and I'm happy to meet in person. Even like I've been vaccinated badges. So
Mm,
we do have interest badges that really help people again, like just know
mm,
who they're meeting and where
mm.
they're at from a comfort level perspective.
Yeah, I was actually going to suggest the vaccination when you beat me to it. Is
We're
it
on
just
it. We're on it.
is it just like a honesty code thing, or do you have to like upload your vax card?
That's a good question. I'll get back to you.
You'll have to let me know on that one. Oh man, we're laughing too much for people who are supposed to be in a serious
I
interview,
know.
but
Too
I
much
have too
fun.
much fun with you.
Too much fun.
All right, back to serious. How do you look at marketing on social platforms? Is there a certain approach you take when thinking about different interests your users have, from business to friendship to finding a companion? And does that tend to align with how you approach running campaigns across the different platforms?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, social is such a core part of how we connect with our community.
Mm,
I'm sure you've heard this before, but in my mind, I don't feel like there is a playbook. It is just
mm,
so necessary to understand who your audience is, what is their mindset, what are
mm,
they looking for. I think each platform, the behavior is so different. Having come
mm,
from Snap, I know a lot of how people's behavior on that platform versus on Instagram or TikTok is just very different. And so we definitely use social platforms as an always on part of our marketing strategy, but how we use
mm,
each platform varies pretty
mm,
dramatically. I would say it's not a one
mm,
size fits all, and there are ways for us to find common ground and really interesting content, depending on,
mm,
again, like the users that we're trying to connect with, and also
mm,
the mindset that they're in. So are they looking for more inspirational content on Instagram because you're
mm,
just scrolling through a feed, versus like having a conversation and really getting to know Bumble users, which is something that we probably would do more of on TikTok. So we
mm,
definitely use the platforms. It's a core part of how we launch campaigns, and also just have an always on connection point with
mm,
our community, and future community who might be considering Bumble. But I'd say that
mm.
each platform we use like totally differently.
Yeah. And do you have either a favorite platform or a platform that you think is performing the best for you right now?
That is a tough question. I mean, we use all the platforms, and
Mm,
so I don't think that I have a favorite. I think
mm,
that we see very different results on each platform. I
mm,
think it depends on what we're measuring, right?
mm,
Obviously, is it just engagement or
mm,
downloads? And we use them very differently,
mm.
obviously, accordingly. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that I have a favorite. I love how Bumble shows up on
Mm,
Instagram. I think that we have a very strong point of view, and I think that it really resonates with people who are, again,
mm.
just looking to be inspired.
Yeah.
And we
Okay.
share like awesome success stories, and
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a very timely platform. Also, I think, that
Hmm.
there's an opportunity to be very relevant.
Hmm. And you have to treat the platforms like your kids. You got to love each one of them
We
equally.
do. I don't have a favorite. They're all my favorites.
Very diplomatic. Well, just for my scope of things, and I should have looked beforehand, but I'd love to talk through it with you and have you educate the crowd. What does a Bumble TikTok campaign look like?
Ooh, so we've done a couple. I mean, I would we've not yet done like a hashtag challenge.
Okay.
We're in the midst of thinking of a really fun one.
Yeah. Okay.
But we've launched, so our latest campaign, I would say, is Find Them on
Mhm.
Bumble, that we just
Okay.
launched in a lot of our key markets. And
Hmm.
the way that we use TikTok was really to have real, authentic Bumble users tell their stories of why they
Hmm.
love Bumble and
Yeah.
why Bumble has really helped them find what they're looking for.
Hmm.
And almost like to really reinforce that there are great people on Bumble, and to
Hmm.
really have them tell their own stories in a very
Hmm.
authentic way. And I just think TikTok has such an amazing storytelling component to it
Hmm.
that is so entertaining, and
Yeah.
it was awesome to use that as a platform to really amplify these like very authentic stories, but in
Hmm.
a way that was very entertaining, because that's what you want when you're on
Hmm.
TikTok. You want to be entertained. It's not the inspirational platform, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So you mentioned a little something that I wanted to go back to. So you recently joined the Bumble team at the beginning of the year as the VP of Global Marketing after spending nearly 4 years as the global head of brand marketing at Snap. What have been some of the biggest changes and adjustments that you had to make for the new role?
Yeah, that is a great question. And I'd say that this year, I think for everyone, has just been
Mhm.
really hard, right?
Yeah.
And
Mm.
while there have been plenty of silver linings, I would say that definitely just adjusting to all of us working from home and living at work, I should say,
Mhm.
is just been hard. And so adding on top of that, changing a job, it's definitely been an adjustment. But I wouldn't
Mhm.
I wouldn't say that like it's any different than what any of us have all gone through,
Uh-huh.
because it's been hard for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
No.
I'm so lucky to have had time at Snap, and really that
Mhm.
led me here to Bumble. So
Yeah.
super
Did
grateful.
did you take some time in between to kind of make the adjustment?
I took zero time. My last day at Snap was on a Friday, and I started on a Monday. I mean, at
Yeah.
the time it was November. There was like strict lockdown in LA. I couldn't even go anywhere. Like, what am I going to do? Go to the grocery store like 3 times? Like so.
Totally.
No, I'll take time off this summer for sure. But um, once all of our family and everyone is vaccinated. But no, at the
Mhm.
time it was like, there's nothing to do, so I'm just gonna
Yeah. Back to
go
work.
straight into it.
Nice.
And I was
Nice.
excited. I was super excited to join Bumble. It was like
Yeah.
really a
What
dream,
a
a
cool
dream job
company.
and a dream brand. So
Yeah, agreed on that. Is there any advice that you've been given in the course of your career that you can share with the audience today about overcoming adversity personally or professionally?
ooh, good one. Um, I'd say that the best advice that I've ever gotten
Mhm.
is build bridges, don't burn them.
Mhm.
And then as far as just like overcoming adversity, I mean,
Mhm.
I grew up stuttering, as you know, and something
Mhm.
that I struggled with as a kid, and something that I'm always thinking about and aware of, but have
Wow.
managed to overcome that and
Mhm.
really build a career around talking,
Mhm.
and doing so with ease. So I'd say that personally, that's something that I've worked through my entire life, and 40 years and counting, still doing it. But I think,
Mhm.
for advice, I would say build bridges.
Nice. I
Yeah.
like it. And I can imagine that as a stutterer growing up, public speaking must have been one of the most frightening propositions ever for you.
It used to be. Now
Yeah.
I look forward to them, and I really love it. And
Uh,
yeah, I mean, I used to work at Apple a while ago, and went
mhm.
through an incredible presentation training program when I worked
Mhm.
there, and it changed everything for me. But
No.
I love public speaking. I definitely do a lot of talking every single day, And yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky that I get to do this, and something that I probably as a kid never dreamed of. So
Yep.
it's important for me to keep doing it, because it proves to me that it's something that I always strive for, but I'm always gonna also struggle with, to be honest.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just faced your fears in order to conquer them, basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, every day.
Yeah. Well, this couldn't have possibly been scary. You knew you were talking to
No,
me.
no, nothing scary with you. But no, I mean, and especially this year, it's been an amazing opportunity to not only participate in events like this, but also
Mhm.
to join and listen to people that you would normally not get to see or speak with. And so obviously we've met at a bunch of industry events that we just don't
Mhm.
have the opportunity to go to anymore, but
Yeah.
we will again,
Soon
but
enough.
we haven't. And doing this, it's like we can still hang out, we can still
Yeah.
connect, and
Mhm.
it's not lost on me how important these sort of opportunities are, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have one question, or wait, no, we actually have a couple questions. I thought I was at the end of the page, but there's another page. So two more questions.
So many questions. I love
So
it.
many questions. Well, it's funny too, because usually I have like all of these things, they're like here, but I stick them to my computer. I'm all prepared. And then Ryan, my brother, threw me a curveball today and had me doing the interview before this. So I couldn't get set up. And so I started looking down, and then I started like sticking them quietly when you weren't paying attention. So sorry, I'm a little off my game, but
Come
because it's
on,
with you,
Ryan.
I'm
No,
okay.
Chris, you're doing amazing. You don't need
Thank you.
posted. You could do this in your sleep. Literally, probably.
Maybe. All right, here's a question. With the social climate of the past year, a paradigm shift has happened, and diversity, equity, and inclusion have become a top priority in corporate culture. How have you and your team approached this and taken steps forward as a company?
Yeah, it's a great question, and obviously very timely. Um, so at Bumble, we actually have a dedicated team of employees who serve as our center of excellence, and
Mhm.
they really champion and deliver against all of our DEI goals and values
Mhm.
throughout all parts of the business. And again, like back to the analogy of building a bigger table, I think like just
Mhm.
building inclusivity and safety for our team members to have a voice and to participate in conversations that are
Mhm.
really hard to have is front and center in all of our minds.
Mhm.
And as a leader at the company, it's something that we are going to continue to do, not just because of what's happened, but
Mhm.
like in perpetuity. From the community side, we've also taken a lot of steps to just protect the safety of our community, and we launched private detector, and
Mhm.
we ban body shaming on our platform, and make sure that inappropriate behavior is not happening on our platform, so that people really do honestly feel safe on the platform. So I'd say like that is not going to go away. We're going to only continue to do more of that to stand for safety, and
Mhm.
in an environment where that is honestly hard to come by
Mhm.
online, and really making sure that safety permeates not just in the app but off the app too.
Gotcha. And I can imagine just in the general ethos of the company being a female-centric, female-led company, inclusion was probably always one of the main precepts of the company anyway, right?
For sure. Yeah, it's one of our values and will
Mhm.
remain for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we have one more question. It's a fun one, and then we're going to open it up to the audience to close it out for the day.
Cool.
Before we open it up to them, what's one thing that you're looking forward to both professionally and personally in the upcoming year?
Um, well, personally, I mean, my kid started school today in real life for the first time in 14 months. So that was,
I saw
I'm
the
still,
Instagram post.
I mean,
Amazing.
it was just incredible to see their joy.
Mhm.
And that was amazing.
Any
So
tears of joy or sadness or anything?
definitely tears of joy for me. No sadness. And,
Yeah.
for 3 whole hours, it was very quiet here because third grade wasn't happening next door. So I'd say, I want our kids to just have like a return to a normal life that they once had from socialized perspective. And obviously really excited to see family and friends that are all now getting vaccinated. I'd say professionally, I'm really excited from a Bumble standpoint. I think the world is about to re-enter and go through yet another change. And I'm really excited to be here now and really be at the forefront of helping people to connect in a healthy and equitable way. And especially when it's been a year of anxiety and a year of stress and unknowns. And I think there's a lot of potential for the role that Bumble plays in that reentry process. And what does that look like for people? And people, I think, are going to be, as we said, on like all sides of the spectrum of just can't wait, or actually like, I like this, and figure out how to really support them. So professionally, I just think that there's going to be a lot that we do that's going to be super exciting. And from a marketing standpoint, a lot of storytelling that I think Bumble can uniquely do to support our community. But yeah, I'd say, there's a lot to look forward to. As Julie said, FU 2020, right? Forget
yes.
Forget 2020.
Forget you. Yes. It's always a tough question to answer, the professional side of things too, because you can't go and tell me all your secrets. So we gotta hope that all the best is yet to come.
Yeah. It is definitely an exciting time. It's a really unique moment in the world. And I think Bumble plays a unique role in that. And so we'll see. Well, I'll keep you posted.
Oh yeah, you're going to be hearing from me. You know that.
I love
it. So we got a couple fun questions from the audience. I love to see when people have specific questions for you. This is from Dave Edwards. He asked, is there anything from your time at Apple that you've taken into your role at Bumble?
Thank you, Dave. That's a great question. Yes, I would say that, Apple is also another amazing brand and amazing company. What I really learned there is the role that product marketing plays in telling a brand story. And that is something that I brought with me to every job and will definitely bring to Bumble and help us continue to tell the story and what makes Bumble differentiated from our peer set, and really just educating users on how to engage with other people on the app and the different features that we have. There's just so much that needs to happen. And I think product marketing plays a big role of that. And I'll definitely bring that from my time at Apple.
Very cool. How do you balance macro influencers campaigns versus micro influencers? What roles do each of these types of influencers play to your audiences?
Yeah, that is a great question. So we definitely, have a lot of, we have ambassadors at our part of the Bumble community that we build at a very grassroots level as part of our Honey program on college campuses. And so I would say that allows us to really, within the Gen Z segment, build a community and also start to educate women about what it means to make the first move and really a very important message about empowerment, I think. Definitely on social platforms, we have a lot of influencers that we partner with as we're launching in new markets or launching new features to really, again, I think help build that word of mouth and also create excitement around things. So definitely use them differently. I think that depending on the market and the channel, they definitely play a different role depending on how big their networks are. But I think more important than their network size, we look at engagement. And is it mostly women or men that are engaging with that influencer? How high is their engagement rate? Because Bumble and telling the story of Bumble it should be a conversation. And so we look for influencers that reflect obviously our brand, but also that have really strong engagement within their networks and communities.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're so a big part.
Cool. Yeah. So we get two things here. We get Q&A and then we just get chat, which is just random people saying cute, funny things. Have to mention this one to you because I think you'll like it. So Paige Goldstein says to us, Bumble has an amazing honey program. I'm a part of it, yellow heart. There's no question that, but for me, what is a honey program?
Thank you, Paige. That's so awesome. We love hearing that. So the Honey program is our college ambassador program, and it allows us to really, again, like just build a community within college campuses, and we host events, and we show up and bring merch, and we have speakers come in. Whitney's done a bunch of Zooms over the last year to really engage with the honeybees and share her story. And it's an opportunity again for us to really talk about what does women making the first move mean. And it's an amazing program. And we also invite them to come to the Hive when we host those events and different events that we host in real life. And the honeybees are a core part of our team of our Hive. Yeah.
Okay. That's so cute. I love it. And I guess Paige was motivated to even ask a question. She says, how do you personally embody the mission and values of Bumble?
Yeah. Paige, we have to meet up for
you probably just made her day.
yeah, that's great. I think for me, I mean, it is a profound mission for sure. I'd say that on a daily basis, the value of making the first move is something that I do take very seriously and instill in my kids and on the team, and make sure that people's voices are heard and that they feel included and that they feel safe coming to the table with ideas that might be wild or never been done before. And we really encourage that kind of courage for people to come to the table with ideas. So for me personally, it's something that I hold my team accountable to making the first move. I hold myself accountable to making the first move. And I just think it's a beautiful thing, and it's very rare and differentiated.
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, you made the first move so that we would go and hang out, and here we
That's
are
right.
having a blast. So Paige Goldstein, this is proof positive that she practices what she preaches.
I love it.
Oh, wow. Well, Shachar, we did it. We have made it to the end.
Yeah.
We definitely closed on a high note. This is always fun to do. I look forward to doing it again with more truffles and wine in the near future.
Yes, likewise.
Thank you so much for taking the time with us today. This was so much fun.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to see you again in real life. Again.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right. Well, now I got to read a bunch of boring stuff.
Okay. Carry on.
Carry on. Thank you so much, Shachar, for closing our day on influencer marketing. It was a great day of speakers, and we are excited for our next upcoming Brand Innovators events. Join us next month, Thursday, May 20th at noon Eastern for our next full day of sessions. It's already shaping up to be one of our best to date, so we hope that you can join us. We also hope that you will join Brand Innovators tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern Time for their second ever international live cast on consumer engagement. They will be joined by marketing leaders from Bose, Bird, Blend Tea, GSK, and many more. Later in the day, tomorrow at noon Eastern, Brand Innovators will host a summit on purpose-driven marketing with leaders from Banfield Pet Hospitals, Hugo Boss, Giving Tuesday, Johnson & Johnson, SAP, Unilever, Lyft, and many more. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon.